Hey, Diane DeWald with CreativeCatCrafts.com. Welcome back to the channel. And this is the card we're going to make today. This versatile masculine layout. I just love this. And I'm utilizing the modern greetings from Gina K Designs. And let me move you in a little closer. In my last video, I stamped in several different colors this birthday wishes. So this is the one done in Kraft, and then this was the warm cocoa, and I had a lot of people like the warm cocoa, and I absolutely love the brightness of the warm cocoa against all these other browns. But this is just such a versatile masculine layout. You could do something other than happy birthday. You could do happy Father's Day, congratulations, whatever event or celebration that you're celebrating. It's a masculine person in your life. This is the dark, I believe this was dark chocolate. I'm going to go with dark chocolate. The video that I have done previously, which I'll have linked down below, along with all the supplies. And believe it or not, we are not going to use any dyes other than what I used in the last video for this. So I'm going to pause you and get this all set up for the next step. So we're going to get the card base ready to go. We're going to cut our squares, and then on the Kraft panel on this front, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's got some embossing on it, and that is the Gina K Designs Gingham 2D embossing folder. So we're going to do that here in just a minute. But first things first, I've got a dark chocolate panel, and I've got Gina's score pad instead of my We Are memory keepers. I'm just going to get that started. And this is an A2 size card, so this is 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to flip it over, and you'll want to fold towards the bump if you've never seen that before. And we've got that. And for our inside panel, you can use Master Layout 1, and we're going to do some fun things with that. So Master Layout 1, those are the dimensions if you are going to use the master layout. I am just going to cut this down, and I'm going to use my Spellbinders paper trimmer, and the matte layer is the bottom one, so it's 3 7/8. So I want to make sure I have that all squared up, and 5 1/8. So that's our inside mat. And then this is Ivory cardstock. So this is 3 3/4 by 5. So we have our mat and our focal layer. So let me go ahead and remove those. Now for the front, I'm going to go ahead and cut down this panel, and I just want to make sure I've got the right size. So let me grab, because I did not write this down as to what this panel is. This is going to be 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So let me pull that back up. So it is that bottom layer again, or the master layout's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So let's go ahead and cut that down. And how do I want to do that? Let's go ahead and do 3 7/8. Just looking at the screen, making sure I've got it, by 5 1/8. And I'm going to put this with the Gingham embossing folder, and we'll do that shortly. So the squares. So the squares on the front of this card, there are 3 squares that layer. And in this card sample, the top layer is square 1. So that's 1.5 by 1.5. And I'm just going to pull you up. So there's a Kraft layer underneath the ivory, and that is 1 5/8 by 1 5/8. And then the really dark layer, which is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, that is the dark chocolate. So we're going to go ahead and cut 2 of the ivory, 2 of the Kraft, and 3 of the dark chocolate. I just wanted to measure. So there is a third dark chocolate right there, and I just wanted to make sure I had the correct size. And I have, oh, I have one here. Oh, we have a dump truck coming by. So what did I measure that as? That was 1 3/4 on that. And that is 1 3/4. So I have my third one. Oh, let me pull that off. I'm really bad at that. So on my other 2 dark chocolates, let's go ahead and cut down a strip for 1 3/4. And we'll do a square at 1 3/4 and another at 1 3/4. Let me just make sure all 3 of these are the same. Yep, they are all the same. And let's get a Kraft. Kraft is the middle layer. Let me throw those dimensions back up there. So this is 1 5/8. So there's 1.5 and 1 5/8. And I only need 2 of these. So 1.5, 1 5/8. Let's hold that down. And let's do this again. 1 5/8. And I have 2 of those. So let me make sure that they're pretty square, pretty similar size, and they are. And then the last piece is ivory, and that is 1.5. Sorry, I've left the dimensions back up there, but better to have them than to not, and you all are guessing. So I'm cutting these at 1.5. And let me just make sure that my paper trimmer did a good job, and it did. And then the one last piece we're going to need to cut is this. There's a whole strip across here, and this is 1 inch. And go ahead and cut it at, because we did on the dimensions here, it is the lower dimension for this Kraft on the front, so 3 7/8. And I actually, so let me cut the 1 inch. And what I like to do, instead of cutting this at right at 3 7/8, I will go to the 3 7/8 mark, and then I'll just bump it over like a hair. And the reason I do that is, for some reason, if my trimmer goes wonky on me, I like to have it overhang a little bit, especially if the background is the same color. You're never going to see it. You will never know. So let me pull that off the screen. Oops, not put it on. Let's pull that off the screen. I have all my pieces and parts. Let me clean this up. I'm going to grab my Gina K Designs Intri-Cut, and we're going to emboss using that Gingham embossing folder. You all are going to laugh at me because I had to grab my instructions for my Intri-Cut and look for the 2D embossing folders because I've never used the Gina K. with 2D embossing. So let me remove this so I'll show you where I have everything. So it is pointed at the 2D emboss right here. And I started with the 0, but it was to my machine, it was just too tight. So my machine I have over here on 4 to loosen the rollers. So let me get this back on here, and I had to close, oh, I'm glad I closed the window because it's pouring rain again. Okay, there we go, locked it in, and pull that down. And I don't know if your machine acts like mine. So see how it's like wiggle, wiggle, wiggle? The minute I put those down, those suction cups on the bottom just grab hold of my desk, and it's awesome. So the 2D emboss, you need your platform and your cutting mat. And the platform's going to go first for this sandwich. And I've got the panel we've already cut. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm lining it up to where it looks pretty even on the sides and on the top. And close it. And I'm going to put it in here at a slight angle, and I'm going to put the cutting mat on top, and then I'm staggering it a little bit here at the top so that this has a chance to grab hold of it. And then I'm just going to crank it through. Oh, I can hear it. I don't know if my microphone's picking it up, but it's just like nice little crackle as it is embossing that cardstock. So let me get this out of the way. And before I reveal, I'm going to pull you in just a smidge so you can see it a whole lot better. And oh, I can already tell it's very nicely embossed. Look at that. Oh, look at that. And then on the flip side, I actually like this side better than that side. I don't know why. I just do. I just do. It's very nicely embossed. So now all we got to do is put this little puppy together. So let's, oh no, we need to do the inside. So let's do the front first. And so that it's easier to do the front, you can tell I'm mowing and working in the yard. Sorry about that. And I'm going to put this over here, and I've got my squares up here, bottom, middle, top, and then I've got the strip. So I'm going to go ahead and put this panel down first, and I'm just using my Tombow glue. Is that? Yes, that's how I wanted it. Not changing my mind now. And get this fairly centered well. Oops, that is like really not centered. There we go. And I'm going to quickly grab my largest block, which is from Stampin' Up. I don't know anybody that makes another block this size. I have Gina's largest, but it's not a full A2. I use it, which perfectly fits that panel. And while that's adhering, we only need one of those for the center one. So let's move that down, and then we can see. And I'm just going to layer these triangles together. And just try to get them in the center as best as possible. If you're off just a little, that's okay. And I can see I just need to move it a little bit. Ooh, that's too far. That's why I like the glue. I have a few seconds to where I can move it. So I'm recording this on Thursday the 16th. And I just finished watching Gina's live today, the SIP Stamps ink paper. That was fun. That was really, really fun. And then we'll just get this smack in the middle. Did I get it even? Not really. Close enough. Because I'm not using dies to cut these squares out, number one, I didn't have nesting squares that would have done this perfectly. I thought I had some waffle flower squares, and I can't find them. When I organized my my studio, when we moved in 2022, I must not have gotten them correctly labeled because I need to go search for them. So I am using, let me see if I can find a piece of just white cardstock so you can see this. Tim Holtz. I love this ruler. It's got a 0 and it goes out from that point. So when I'm trying to center something, this is perfect. So I'm going to lay this here, and actually I'm going to do my center strip first. Wow, I've got ink all over this. Need to get the alcohol out. So if I put the 2 3/4, I know my 0 is in the middle. And this is my strip that's going to go across my embossed center panel. I want my reverse tweezers. This will be easier to line up rather than using my big fingers. So, okay, it is centered, and I 1/2 inch on each side, like this. And let me just make sure I've got, yep, that's perfect. Okay, I'm just going to set that on there for a minute, and then we'll get the squares glued down. So these are 2 1/8 on each side. And we're gluing these straight down. And again, I'm going to use my tweezers because I'm going to hold this down with 1, and I want this at the top of the Kraft. And then I'm going to flip this over, and I get 2 1/8. And this point right here, it's almost slightly, there we go. Okay, now it's perfectly up and down. And we're going to do the same thing down here. Let me get that centered. And the second one's a little easier to line up because we line it up with that point there and the point there in the middle. So we are perfectly aligned. Well, almost perfectly. You won't see it. And then I'm going to grab some of my large dimensionals. Let me just make sure I've got the right side, because I'm going to put a dimensional on this side, a dimensional on this side, and then we're going to get glue here and glue here, and just like that. And this layout, it is so versatile. You can do just about anything with this. And the last piece is, where did I put that? My birthday wishes. It's It's going to go right there in the middle. So let me get this glued down, and we can get our bling on it, and we can get that fun inside done. I'm using, okay, let's pull that down just a little, right hand side. Okay. And, oh, it needs to go to the right just a smidge, just like that. And I have from Cartwright's Sequins and Beads these coffee metallic confetti, and I think you've seen them before. I think these are so fun, so I'm just going to dump some in my little tray. I got the tray from Trinity Stamps. I can't find it on their website anymore, so they may have a different embellishment tray. And we're going to do our embellishments pretty much the same. And then we'll get one down here. Oh, I like that. And let me get my stick and pick from Gina K. And there's one. I am using her matte glue so that if it squishes out the sides, which I think you have seen it squish out. Oops, this one just doesn't want to secure. Come on. And one up here. So this one up here, it squished out the side. So I'm just waiting for that to take hold. Now I'm hearing thunder. So that's the front of our card. It is just a fun card. And the warm cocoa, it just pops off the card. I love the Kraft and that dark chocolate. I really love that one too. But the warm cocoa it just adds a little bit of a oomph to it. So let me pause you, go grab the stamp sets we're going to use to do the middle. So this is the Modern Greetings, and it's this two-step process, and like I said, I'll have that video down below, but it's birthday wishes is what we used for that. And then I heard Gina say that this Mandala Maker is currently out of stock, so if you don't have it, you want it, go to Gina K Design's website. Oops, I had that upside down. Pull this item up. I'll have a link for it down below, and then put yourself on the notify me list, and when it comes back in, you'll get an email letting you know it's ready. It's ready for you. So this is what we're going to do with the card for today. I want to do the same thing or something very similar, and I like to use, if I am stamping not inside my Misti, I like to have just a little, I pulled the foam piece from the Misti. I like to have a little bit of give, and we're going to grab, I've got some blocks here. Let me take this cover off, and I used this little square and this little diamond. So there's a diamond and a square that I grabbed. This set is just so fun. You can do so much with it. So let's go ahead and start with our square, and I'm using Gina K Design's dark chocolate. Oh, I have to go get the sentiment too. And then just like that, and I use this diamond, and I'm gonna get this up here. And I'm just freehanding this. So if it's not 100% perfect, you know, it's okay. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. And then warm cocoa is our next one, but I want to clean these stamps real quick because I used the dark first. and then the light. So I'm just spritzing with a little bit of water and pulling it off. And we'll go back to the square. Just like that. Just giving it a little something fun. And then our diamond. Just like that. And that's beautiful. Beautiful. So let me go grab the sentiment. I think this was from, oops, whoa, there's that little diamond flipped right off and got lost in my microfiber. So that might be Inside Sentiments. So let me go grab it. I'll be right back. It's Inside Edition from Gina K. And it's one of my favorite birthday card sentiments. And I'm trying a new grip mat. It's a sticky mat, and it's from scrapbook.com, and it's their GripMate. I kind of like it. I like Gina's as well. I like to use a lot of different products. Let me make sure I got this. I'm going to pull this down so I can see it. You don't need to see the back of my head. It's nothing pretty. And I'm going to use the warm cocoa on this and then just kiss it. I want to do one more stamping. Let it sit there for a minute. And that A, which side is that on? It's right there. Perfect. Okay, perfect now. Let me clean this off real quick and put it away. And we can put this on the inside of the card we made today. I just want to thank you for joining me today and for your continued support. It's very appreciated. Like I said, I will have all my links down below. They are affiliate links, most of them, and it helps support me so that I can support my channels, and I utilize proceeds from the very small commission that I receive to purchase new products like that GripMate from scrapbook.com. And I think Gina's, I don't know if it's the 21st or the 28th. I can't remember. I'll have to go look at my calendar. Her new release, which I'm excited for. I also received today in the mail the embossing folder bundle that she just released last week. I can't wait to break it out and do some fun stuff with it. So thanks for joining me today in making this very versatile card layout. In fact, you could change the colors up on this and make it very feminine. And the ivory you could replace with white and create your own background paper. There's so much you can do with this particular layout. Thanks again for joining me. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, if you would hit that subscribe button down below and then click the notification bell so that you are notified the next time I upload a video. And until next time, happy stamping!